torque that's so important to have the high feed rates, the importance of the faster software with the read ahead to be able to get through the material. Now we're going to talk about how much money you can make by utilizing all of those components and now adding some higher RPM to the existing spindle. If you look here, we created a spreadsheet. I'm not going to go into detail. We don't have to go over the numbers together. I know they can get complicated, but I'm going to play a video in a moment that's going to talk about hundreds of thousands of ringgit that you can save based on switching from 10,000 RPM to 90,000 RPM or 50,000 RPM, okay? So we calculated our shop cost, hours per shift, shifts per day, working days per week, quantity of machines used. Is actually quite simple. What's the original cycle time? What's the new cycle time that can be produced, okay? How many parts made? What's the spindle investment? And what can you get back after a year's time or specifically for the job? Some of the numbers I'm about to show you aren't gonna seem real, but the math is here. It is as simple as reducing cycle time. And we're not even going to include machine life savings, tool life savings, the unnecessary need to switch from machine to machine to go from roughing to finishing. We're only calculating cycle time, and you're about to get your mind blown by these numbers. So, first we have the main spindle versus the air spindle, okay? As you can see, this is a 1 mm ball mill cutting a piece of steel, and it's going about 500 millimeters a minute, all right? We're about to add a 50,000 RPM air spindle right here. Now we're going 4,000 millimeters a minute. That's about, yeah, we're getting up there now with the same 1 millimeter ball mill, okay? We changed nothing, we didn't change the depth of cut, we didn't change anything. We have the exact same finish, and we went from 34 minutes to 6 minutes, okay? Changed nothing. Now, this is an actual customer that we have. Cost and time savings analysis. This company has a VF2 hot. We're running a 50,000 RPM main spindle at a feed rate of 8,000 millimeters a minute on a 0.5 ball mill. And what we're going to be making is a soap mold. This is an actual application of a customer that we have. I'm going to present to you 4 customers that we have so you can see the cost analysis. So this is a brass soap mold. Millimeter going 8,000 millimeters a minute. There's your Lux soap mold right there. Now, our mathematical calculation on that, the same thing we were talking about before, I have it in USD instead of ringgit. So just take all the numbers and multiply them by 4. More or less we're multiplying by 4, right? So, shop hours, how much it costs to run a shop for rent, for electricity, all that stuff, divided up into hours. We typically in the U.S. average it out to about 100 to 150 U.S. However, this job was being done in India, so we averaged it at $40 an hour. More than a third less of what we usually calculate, okay? So I'm not giving this thing any crazy numbers. The reason I keep saying this is because these numbers at the end, they're big. And it's going to be your savings as well, okay? Hours per shift, 10 hours. Shifts per day, 1. Working days per week, 6. The Indians don't know how to take a break. They work 6 days a week, every day, every week of every year. Quantity of machines used, they're only using 1 machine and they actually only have 2 or 3 in the shop. So there's not much they can do to spread out, okay? Total number of parts made, they needed to make 500 parts for this specific job to be done. Here's some more designs of the soap mold where they're using that 0.5 millimeter. Now, the original cycle time was 4 hours. Again, we changed nothing but up the RPM to give the CNC the ability to now go faster in the feed rate. And because the software does have the read ahead, it has the capability to reach that 8,000 millimeters like we programmed in, okay? New cycle time is 40 minutes. So we reduced this by 3 hours and 20 minutes per part. Total time saved on 500 pieces, 1,666 hours. Now, what does that save time do for you? Well, the approximate cost of an air spindle is $5,000 US, okay? That's the approximate cost. And this is where people sometimes go, ooh, 5,000. I just spent, $50,000 on a CNC machine. I don't know if I want to do that, They don't think about how much money they're actually going to make by spending that $5,000. On this return on investment of 500 pieces was a $66,000 return on investment for 500 pieces. $66,000, multiply that times 4 to get your ringgit. On top of that, by reducing the time and making this much more money, now, the next time that bid comes out from Lux, when Lux says, hey guys, we have 20 companies that are looking at this job, we have 500 pieces that need to be done, who's going to do it for us? They can bid $10,000 less than their competitor because they know that they're going to make $50,000 more. So now they can win those bids. Now they can get more jobs, and by saving this money, now they can buy an extra couple Haas machines. So, if that job didn't end at 500 pieces because now Lux realizes they can get more out, now they can bid on 5,000 pieces, 10,000 pieces. So if it was continuous throughout the year, on a 1 month ROI, based on those cycle times, it's $32,000 US. In 1 year, it's $384,000 US saved by buying one $5,000 spindle. If you are utilizing anything that's 6 millimeters and below, there is no reason not to go faster RPM, and it's not complicated. On to the next customer. Oh yeah, we did take a picture at the end. They were pretty excited. Next customer will reduce from 11 hours to 3 hours. Bunch of tiny little 0.5 millimeter slots. So you can see the part here. This tiny little slots, 11 hours is his original cycle time. He was running originally at 8,000 RPM. We bumped it up to 50,000 RPM. He had to do 100 parts. Now this was a test. With these 100 parts, if I'm able to do it, if I'm able to make money, I can bid on a larger one for the next time, right? 100 parts, 8 hours saved per part. 100 parts times 8 hours is 800 total hours saved on a trial. Return job on investment, $32,000 on those 100 parts. Based on the fact that he saved that much time. Now, he's getting ready to bid on the next job that's going to be a lot more than 100. He's going to save $921,000 US per year by reducing his cycle time from 11 hours to 3 hours. It's phenomenal. Mind-blowing. So, original estimated job completion was 110 days. New job completion, 30 days. What does that do for you? It opens up the machine. It gives you the ability to have more jobs come in. It gives you now the ability on the finances to buy more machines, to grow your company, to do the things that you need to do in order to succeed. Because the whole world has the same issue when it comes to small diameter. I do not have the RPM. And I don't want to buy a machine that's dedicated to only RPM because now I can't do any of the roping. So why not combine the two for a $5,000 cost and do everything you need with this kind of success? Let's move on to the next customer. We took a picture at the end. I keep forgetting that. Customer just won a bid for 20,000 pieces. How much money is he going to make from the 100 we just showed? 20,000 pieces he just got. Next customer. Cycle time from 5 minutes to 38 seconds. The reason I brought this one up is because the two jobs I've given you so far have huge reductions, right? So obviously, 11 hours to 3 hours, that's a huge savings. I'm going to make a lot of money. It makes sense. But what if my cycle time isn't so long? What if it's only a couple of minutes and I'm only reducing by, 50%? This is what happens. 5 minutes to 38 seconds. Again, we're going 50,000 RPM. This is a 3 millimeter flat mill, running a cool little flower design. This video will actually be 38 seconds because that's how long it took from the 5 minutes. And I've run out of cool things to say. On top of speeding it up from 5 minutes to 38 seconds, we actually improved the finish in that 38 seconds as well, as you can see right here. We improved the finish in that design. Now, we're talking about the same machine shop cost, $40 an hour, let's say. Shifts per day is 1, working days per week is 6. It's India again, they don't know how to take a break. Quantity of machines, they're using 4 machines dedicated to this procedure, okay? So this company is using 4. Original cycle time was 5 minutes. We reduced it to 38. Their requirement is 10,000 pieces. 10,000. So we reduced by 4 minutes and 22 seconds times 10,000 parts. We now save them 700 hours on something that's a very low cycle time already. Spindle investment. Again, $5,000. Job-specific ROI. On that job-specific, we weren't reducing by hours and hours, but we did reduce by 4 minutes, right? 4 minutes times 10,000 parts gave them a $28,000 return. So let's subtract 5,000 from that. He profited $23,000 on that. 1 month was 2, 6 months was 16, 1 year is 32,000, right? But something more important than that for these guys. The original estimated job delivery date would have been 83 days from the beginning. Now, we're at 13 days for the same 10,000 pieces with the math of the 4 machines, right? We did save quite a bit of money, $32,000 I think, somewhere around there, 28,000. However, 83 to 13 is a huge difference. So this is the company. I think you'll like this. I think, where's the other Haas guys? Because of this time savings, they ended up buying 5 new Haas machines. That's right. 5 new Haas machines because they knew the ability of how much they could produce in 13 days versus 80 days. 5 new Haas machines. Last customer of the day. Cycle time reduced from 5 minutes per hole. There's going to be 30 holes in this brass electrode is what we're getting ready to show, a brass electrode. So 5 minutes per hole reduced to 2 minutes per hole, times 30 holes, 90 minutes per part, right? So nothing crazy. Just another 3mm flat mill, ball mill, diving into the electrode, machining 30 holes. You can see that it's going to be a VF5. And we're going to show you what the feed rate is and what the original program feed rate is as well, from 1,200 to 5,400 in the feed rate. In just a moment, we're going to get to these fun numbers. Okay, here's the numbers part again of how much money you can make on these Haas machines by utilizing this higher RPM. $40 per hour. We've been doing this for 3 jobs so far. We now get that part, right? 8-hour shift, 3 shifts. They work 24 hours a day making these parts. Of course, it's an aerospace company that's doing a bunch of other stuff as well. 6 days per week. Only 1 machine used, and the job requirement was 5,000 parts. So, this is what the part looks like. 30 holes at the top. Time saved per part is 1.5 hours. 5,000 parts would be 7,500 hours. Specific return on investment for that job, for this job of 5,000 parts. Do you see that number? Everyone see that number? 300,000 US dollars for 5,000 parts. That's how much they made. 300,000 US dollars. 1 month, 34,000. 6 months, 207,000. 1 year, 414,000. This is how much they made by reducing their cycle time. And this is the excitement of the guys. Now, back to the other customer we talked about. The original job completed date was 520 days from start. We're now at 208 days. You know what that does for your shop. You know what that does for the ability of buying more machines. Both of these calculations were done by the 3 shifts in a 24-hour day period, 520 days to 208 days. If I'm not mistaken, customer purchased 3 new Haas machines. That is the end of my presentation. I hope that I have driven the point across that you know anything that's 6 millimeter and below for $5,000, you can now make a ton of money by saving your cycle time, saving your machine, saving your tool life. This is what we do. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
Ada amai lawa mari kacang ayam.
Tak boleh lain lebih puasa.
Tak boleh ya? Dosa itu ah. Ini kita 3 axis yang kita buat dekat itu.
Ni you tak ada polish, tak ada apa.
Tak ada polish, memang tak ada polish. Polish mesti next day ni boleh ya. Ini memang boleh buat.